Hello, I'm Glenn Keller.
And I'm Dimple Shah, and welcome to the latest episode of Our Greatest Strength.
In this episode, we have a special guest, Nirav Shah. And Dimple, do you want to tell everybody what's so special about Nirav?
This would be interesting. Yes.
If our viewers have no idea what he is talking about, Nirav and I have known each other since 1995. We studied together in college. We've been best friends since. And oh, by the way, he is my husband since 21 years. Welcome, Nirav.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invite.
Nirav, for our viewers, tell us what do you do for a living?
What I do for a living, I follow your instructions. I follow everything you tell me to do. I taste the food you cook now. That's not what I do for a living. That's I do for survival. What I do for a living is I work for an energy company here in town called MISO, Mid-Continent Independent System Operator. We manage the grid for 15 states in America, Manitoba province in Canada. We have transmission planning, long-range transmission planning, and then we also run markets for energy. I am the Chief Digital and Information Officer for MISO.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Cool. So, so I'd like to know about a little bit about your journey,
Yes.
how you came to be in the United States. We've heard Dimple's side,
Okay.
but we'd also like to hear your side of the story as well.
Yeah, my side, so I came in 2002. And I came to do my master's here. I came to Kansas City, University of Missouri, Kansas City, did my master's in computer science, software engineering, and then networking as my backup. And then 2 years there, we got married in 2005. So 2002 to 4, then I went to Springfield, Missouri, started working for a software engineering workflow management firm as a software engineer. Did that for 3 years. In between, went home, married Dimple, came back 2005. So my hometown, I would always say Kansas City. Her hometown, she says Springfield, Missouri, because that's where we first landed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then Missouri for 5 years total. Moved to Indiana for a company here, Interactive Intelligence. 10 years I grew up in that company. I would say my career grew up there, and then a couple of other places, and now MISO.
Okay.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Yes.
So, Nirav, you are currently the Chief Digital and Information Officer at MISO.
Yeah. First thing I'll say is I like that you're reading from the script, because this is probably first time that you have said I'm a CDIO. Otherwise, her and my son always say CIDO, and then I have to remind them there's nothing wrong, but I would like the D to be before I, because it's more digital and less information. So I appreciate you doing that. But I think it's obviously commitment, a lot of hard work, support, right? Support from family members, support from loved ones, but then. I think it's also it's luck. I feel like luck plays a big role in that as well. I think a lot of people they have seen put a lot in efforts, but the luck might not be on their side. So I get that luck is there. And for me, I think one of the places I mentioned earlier, 10 years, that was the right place, right time for me. And then you come here, you come to a completely a different country. You get a culture shock. I wasn't that great in English either myself, so I think you have a shock. You have this confidence issue where can you openly speak in the language? I remember my family when I was first coming here, like, will you be able to understand accent? Because we would only have seen those on movies, right? So like, will you be able to? And I would watch movies with subtitle, even though I knew English because of the accent. So there was always this like, hey, when you land in Kansas City, like, would you be able to understand people's accent? Would you get what they're saying? Would you be able to communicate? So you always wonder about that, right? But then you come here and then you quickly realize that the amount of people that are there to support you, to be your ally, is phenomenal. And it just lifts your spirit, and you come here to work hard, and because of surrounding, you start working even harder, and you start working even harder, and then luck and having allies around you that push you, wants you to do great things. I think it just takes you with it. It takes you where you need to go. So, yeah. I don't think you plan those things. I don't believe you plan.
That's a great leadership answer, right? If I were in your organization, that's the kind of thing I'd like to hear from my leader.
Yeah,
right?
and Glenn, I don't know if you or Dimple, like, I don't think we sit down and put together a career path and saying, when I am at this age or when I'm this, I am going to be at there and I am going to be here. You just have to go with it, right?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if you've come this far and gotten this far, I take it that you like what you're seeing. So I'm going to ask you to take a minute, subscribe to our channel so you can get all of the episodes that we put out.
Please do.
Okay, so So could you talk about the immigration experience for you? How was it like, getting the visa?
Yeah.
How was it like, the green card process? And then if you went through naturalization, can you tell us about that?
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
got anything interesting? Like, did you have to do that, like go to Canada for a day and come back type of thing? So
Oh, wow.
I think that's what we're interested
Yeah,
in.
there is some interesting things there, and I think it's hard to summarize there in 3 minutes, but I'll try. When you ask the question immigration, I will say legal immigration, because oftentimes I will say one of my pet peeves is, when you look at politics and when you look at politics in this country, people always confuse the two because of the word used, immigration,
yes.
right? So for us, like obviously legally immigrant, right? So I came through a F1 visa, which is my student visa, and then when I said I started working for a company in Missouri, that's where I transitioned to work visa. Okay, from a legal immigration perspective, it is a long process here. It took me 17 years to get my green card, and hopefully this year is something where I'll probably get my citizenship here. I love the country, so I think definitely going forward for that. But I'll give you specific examples of, I think when Dimple and I were moving from Missouri to Indiana for the job, all my paperwork and everything was submitted on time. Unfortunately, the company I was moving forgot to file the paperwork, and we still remember we were driving and we got a call from the HR department and said, hey, we forgot to file the paperwork, and it was right around the Labor Day weekend, so the attorney forgot. So we were missing this one document, can you please send us? So we parked on the side of the road, got the document from our U-Haul, went to FedEx, scanned it and sent it. Now because of that 3 or 4 days, we received our visa approval in December later that year. But the visa approval did not come with a specific card that is attached to it, which kind of says there was a gap of 3-4 days. And I still remember I was at a lunchtime and I was talking to Dimple. HR called me, so I hung up. I called HR back and they said, you need to leave the country now. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what just happened? And they explained me exactly what I just said. I came home to Dimple and said, Dimple, we need to leave the country and we have no idea we will ever come back here. So we gave the keys to our friends and we said, listen, this is our apartment. If you don't come back, sell everything here. If you come back, we'll see you. And then we left the country. But obviously, we went back, obviously got our visa. So this is one of many of those stories. And I think every immigrant, who have come here, through the legal process, has those journey, right? You have sleepless nights of not losing job because you have 15 days to find another job at that time, right? You have sleepless days, right? And again, it's not about your performance. Sometimes you lose job because of economy, right? So you always have the baggage that you're always carrying. And I like to say this, like, this is not America, this is everywhere in the world. Doing the right thing is always the harder, right? So legally coming here is a lot harder, right? Doing an organic farming is a lot harder because organic farmers would have to sign 100 pages of document. But if you're not doing organic, it's an easier route. So it's just the way world works. I think if you do things the right way, it usually be harder, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you pointed that out because doing it legally is, I think,
is the right way.
It is harder. Now, there's a little less stress on the back end.
100%, 100%.
So,
I think even when we went back, right, in this situation, when we went back, the visa interview was a formality because they knew, right? Ever since, like every other visa stamping we have had, our green card process, we were not even interviewed for green card. The reason was that because everything is done legally, they knew, right? So I think it's harder, but it's the right thing to do. If we have to do it again, I think we'll do it exactly the same way.
One thing, the top 3 things that you miss from India.
Top 3, all will start with F. Family, friends, and food. All will start with F. Yes. Yeah, it is in that priority, by the way. It is in that priority. So, maybe food and friend might go reverse or depending on where I'm eating. But I think family will always be, right? And I'm blessed, right? And we both are blessed. We still have our parents with us. We have our siblings, right? So we are blessed. We are blessed. We still get the call which says mom and dad on our cell phone. And, there's only so many days left. So I think we make the most of it. But, she's behind this, right? We talked earlier about me being that busy. And I'm a very, I would say, a little bit borderline workaholic. And she always reminds me that you need to go to India every year. You need to go to India every year. You need to go and see your parents. So I give credit to her, but she pushes me to go to India. Maybe she needs vacation out of while I'm gone. But there is a reason she pushes me to do that. But I enjoy that time. So I do visit my family all the time. Friends are there. And then I love eating out. That's my favorite. Yeah, so food.
This is the dynamic we were looking for.
Yes.
So let me ask you what you like most about living in the U.S.
That's a good question actually.
You
Because,
can't, you can't use the same device.
no,
for
no,
three
no.
Fs.
No. I would probably say I think discipline, openness. I would say openness, discipline, and I think directness. I feel like there is less I mean, for people in US who are seeing this, they might turn the TV on. They say, "Oh, we're so diplomatic," but that's not true. When you travel the world, you will realize that US is actually a lot more direct. Honestly, I like the discipline here. I really love the discipline here. And I think openness, and I'll touch a little bit on openness. In Dimple and I talk about this. We are from India. We have visited many other countries through vacations, and I don't know any other country who would accept this many people from a lot of different backgrounds and help them grow and be their supporter, be their allies, right? And accept the way they have accepted me and Dimple and our son. Right? It is just phenomenal. Like, I don't know. And we often compare about, like, what if this was reversed? If so many Americans were living in our neighborhood in India, like, how would our parents feel about it? How would we feel about it, right? I think this is I know unfortunately we turn the news on these days and it's all negative, but I feel like there are so much positive here, so many positives, and I think people should look at that. Yes.
Is there a question that you wish we would have asked you, but we might have just
I
missed?
think, no, I think you covered a lot of things. I think I would have touched a little bit on the diversity and inclusion a little bit, but I think we just touched that as my last answer about openness and how we were welcomed and included in things. I feel like there is always two sides to the coin. I feel the media, they get paid because of their economical model is to glamorize the negative side more. That's their economical model, right? We live in that instant gratification era where you want to give people that. So I get that, but that's not true. Like, I understand, I'm not disagreeing with what's happening on the news, but I think there's a lot of other positive things that are happening. And as humans, as people, we have a choice to say, is it a chance that we probably follow more of a positive news and less of, right? So I think diversity and inclusion is there. The second thing I feel like talking about diversity and inclusion for me would be, I had no idea about diversity and inclusion until I came to America. Because it is part of growing up in India, right? Like in our apartment complex where we grew up, right? Our neighbor would be completely different culture. Our neighbor upstairs would be different religion, different, right? So we might look the same from a look-wise, but I can guarantee right now when an apartment of 30 different apartments, probably there were 20 different religions, every different ethnicity. So it was never a thing. It was part of growing up. It was like a natural system. Like it was there. And then you come here and then you hear about all this stuff, and then you hear the stories and you hear the good and the bad stories, and it's real. So I think the more we become diverse, the more it will become natural for our futures, our kids and our grandkids. That would never need to be a thing. It doesn't need to be a thing. And I'll say something at the closing. I think I appreciate both of you doing this, by the way. And I'm not saying because you're my wife and hopefully we'll have a good dinner today. That's not. These are sensitive topics. A lot of people will run away. A lot of people will run away from this. I'm very honest here, right? A lot of people will do that because it's required as a part of their job. This is not required as a part of both of your jobs. Let's be very honest here, okay? So for you to say, hey, let's take some time out, let's invest this time, let's invite people from different backgrounds, let's share the stories. These are the kind of things that the future generations will see, will view, and will learn from it. And I think it's important that you guys do that. So I want to appreciate you both. I want to thank you both for calling me here. So, and please subscribe.
Thank you for saying that. I do have to say this though, because I told my son this morning, our son this morning, that, oh, finally Papa is going to be a guest. And he says, oh, you have to say it on the air. Why the heck are you inviting them? He's like, why did you do this? Okay, buddy, we promised.
Our son is asking, why did you invite me?
Well, because I've heard part of the family story from your mother. My name is Dimple, and I thought it'd be interesting to hear the other part of the family story. And if there was a little mild conflict, that's always good.
I think there are hundreds of different topics that you have a lot of conflict. This one is the one that we both are very aligned. Because we lived it together. So.
For sure.
So this is a. So thank you, Nirav, for coming in. Really, really appreciate it. just a lovely couple. And this was
Thank
the
you.
dynamic I thought we would get. Just really, really, really well aligned, fun, and just a little bit of poking here and there.
Yeah, why not? Yes,
That's
yes.
what we do with our spouses, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you everybody for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe.